Really not much to waste any time about. Get right to the BTC chart. And who's bearish, who's bullish, when moon are really the only questions I have. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking at the framework. If they're not looking at it now, they're going to be looking at it in a few more weeks because I am surprised. And it's actually a good thing that you have bearish people out there looking for Bitcoin to roll over just because we're banging static resistance once again. I'm not one of them. As you guys know, I am been constructive and kind of been calling the reaction for a while to be over. And we're at the 30 bar limit. And yeah, I'm not saying we're going to go straight up, but you know, this has got all the markings of a simple reaction. That's it. We know the numbers. We've been saying it a couple weeks now, 63, 67. Let's clip 70 and then we'll deal. And here's the bearish crab pattern, shark pattern reaction of that. I don't think people will flip until that's fully resolved. And I will take a hard look up here at 70,315 on the Binance feed. Also, our red line, what's that? That's the new HSI dot line. Okay, that's our ultimate confirmation. And that's still, shy of 70. So great to see everybody. What's up? David, Justin, 1977. Man, that was a great year. 77 was a great year. Loot Patient, Breaks 212, Cat, Dog, Doreska, everyone else, MH. Well, come on in, get settled in, get yourself a coffee or a beer, whatever your flavor. Let's get to some patterns. Let's get to some charts. The other thing I want to point out, well, before we get any further, let's get the business out of the way. Folks, get your free 2-week trial to the one and only Harmonic Pattern Collection for TradingView. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. My partner Chris, the best in the business, is going to take care of you. 14 days, 2 weeks. And I will say this. For anybody that needs a little extra time, especially new folks, you get to that end of that 2 weeks and you need a little more time, just reach out to Chris again. We're really easygoing about this stuff. Also, going to direct your eyeballs to some of the other platforms, MetaTrader, eSignal, NinjaTrader. Man, everybody's doing the prop firm thing, and they're mostly on NinjaTrader. So shout out to NinjaTrader. Good people there, and they're really killing it with that. So great to see that. I've known those guys, what, 10 years? 10 years, a long time. So awesome. Let's get back to it. Bitcoin 67,272 is just a number, but it's a big number for now. The other thing that we want to look at on this daily chart, okay, is this crab pattern. That's 70,905. You get to that point where these levels are so close, they're going to be like an action, a magnetic move begging to be retested. And so we'll get up there. How do you know? What if, Scott, you're off your rocker? How are you? What are you thinking? I think Bitcoin's going to 42,000. How can you say all of this? Well, do we have any confirmation? Anything bearish up here that would suggest it? Getting a little overstretched on the daily, but we're not there yet. We know what needs to happen. That would have to roll over and do a couple more days. So 67.5, 67.3 for now. And of course, everyone's waiting for the big election. So unique times. You're going to go back and you're going to tell your grandkids you went through these times and said, boy, they were wacky. They are wacky. That's all I can say. That's my professional political opinion with all 9 credits of political science behind me. Anyway, I'm on my second cup of coffee and just digging in for the day. I definitely want to get through a couple of interesting developments. Coinbase, wow, nice move, huh? Especially that Connell 2X. That's been really nice. We'll look at Michael Strategies stock. Also want to mention we're going to try to get Lieutenant Ponzi on next week, and we're going to dedicate a space to meme coins. He's all over it, and great guy. Check him out, Lieutenant Ponzi on Twitter. The Pons, as I like to call him, and we're going to start diving deep. I got a couple ideas on those coins too, and again, it's all speculation, so be aware that I'm not looking at any inherent financial value other than these speculative pools are going to start running pretty much in a self-fulfilling prophecy. So dig in. What's up, Mitch Ray in the house? What's going on? If Man Bun is short, who could be against us? Yeah, maybe they're short, man, for 1,000. It's going to go from 67 to 66, but we're like, I saw, I gotta say this, okay? I've been looking into some long-term stuff Michael Saylor and others have been saying of like, I don't know how they get it, but 13 million Bitcoin, $13 million Bitcoin in 10 years. Yeah, what's that? Like 100 trillion market cap, 7% of all assets. I don't know. 1%, 1% of all assets in the world could be tokenized into Bitcoin at some point, maybe. It really is interesting. And another guy that I was checking out had a good point. He's like, every time the government tries to sue somebody, first they sue them, then they fine them, then they get into bed with them, and then they're, it's kind of like the SpaceX thing where they're basically taking over NASA. I would love to see a challenge to the Fed, but we're going to find out, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, if you like what's going on, hit the button, subscribe. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, 12:30-ish. It's the best I can do. I always intend on 12 noon, but the mornings run long. Hit like, and then, tell your friends. Only cool people, please. Want to shout out to the mods also. Get out of town, Mitch. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to Mitch. Mitch Ray, happy birthday. I had no idea, man. Sorry. Happy birthday to Mitch. Great guy. Mitch Ray TA. Check him out every day. The man is just an animal. He basically taught me the streaming game. Inspired me to jump in here. So appreciate that. And Mitch, you and I are due for a live stream ourselves soon. I think Mitch and I have talked about doing a Miami meetup after Bitcoin hits 80K. That could be Thanksgiving or by Christmas. So we're going to have to see. Anybody up north, you want to come get warm, meet us down there. We'll let you know. We're not going to pull the trigger until Bitcoin's above 80. That's awesome. Thanks, everybody. So here's the Bitcoin chart. And what are the things we need to look out for as we trigger up? The most notable event, technical event in terms of price action that I want to consider is simple 3-bar breakout in the making by Sunday night. And I've mentioned this before. Can you finish that? That's 66.5 right above that candle. 66.523. Boy, I would love to close the week right here. And I would say mission accomplished. And then things can develop beyond 3-bar breakouts. It's there's a lot of things here. There's the only thing not here is time. Is just time, and it's the Bitcoin's now a situation where I think it's more time in the market than timing the market, especially if you're playing for the $13 million price target Michael Saylor has. That would be something else. Talk about the first trillionaire. But who knows? I don't see the easy money policies going away or even slowing down. I got to think no matter who wins in a few weeks, that money printer is going to go on. They're in the process of refilling the ink, and they're going to spend. The one guy, he's going to cut your taxes. Okay, they're going to be light on revenues, but growth and financial expectations will be heightened, and so people will be placing big bets. If the other one gets in, well, she's going to spend, and she'll start dropping 4 trillion, 5 trillion deficits a year, and then the money printer straight to 50 trillion. Sorry, millennials. Sorry, Z and Zoomers. We're borrowing against your future. It's a sad fact, but it's how it goes. And, I don't make up the rules. I just try to win by them. Anyway, those are the kind of key notes. The other thing, that the bigger stuff, that Harmonic readings that are, pretty smooth to look at. Harmonic strength index and amplified RSI, some of the tools, that proprietary tools that I have brought into the game here, are as strong AF. Okay, that could be relative strength. It could be whatever you want. I know Mitch likes to use MACD. He showed some interesting stuff recently. Just follow the line, kids. As long as that's above the 50 and breaking out, you've got some force behind it. And as I've mentioned before, this is the first time in over a year that we've seen this kind of a breakout. Last time you have to go there, again, ironically enough, to the day, to the week, to the day almost, that we have that kind of same deal going on. And so there was October 9, week of the 16, BTC was trading under 30K and then ran hard. That's what we do. We're stacking evidence. We're looking at price action, market structure, dare I say, SMC concepts. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I'm going to have fun with you guys. Are going to hear what's going to come soon. It'll be funny. It'll be some banter in the next several weeks. I agree, I completely anticipate it, but it's all for fun and sport and profit. But with that behind your back, okay, and a 3-bar breakout, you got continuation. So 70,300. Let's kiss it and go. I think people will freak out by the 70 number, and the only test that at that point will be the pattern at 71,000, and people will FOMO. They will FOMO and FOMO, because then they'll just look up at the 100K 6-figure level, thinking that they're going to miss out if they don't get in. I would think you go to 70,900 here, kiss the bat, give us some confirmation, 71K, and then you hit some resistance. But this formation of what we have now, or even like a stretched out kind of connect the dots bat, is something like X, A, B, C, D, get a nice W structure. Oh, look, the B point's exactly to 618. So we're looking 786 to 886. And all of that lines up in this zone coming together right now. So just be aware. Okay, I'm not one of these people. I'm not, and I'm seeing it a lot. And I think it's kind of like chart porn, if you will, where people are just, they start drawing things like this, like, oh, it's going to go up here against the highs, and then we're going straight to 42,000. The other guy was saying, okay, once they reveal the Bitcoin founder, Bitcoin will go to zero because you won't like who owns it. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Okay, it is a market that is fully entrenched, and you've got. Yeah, I will say this, that Bitcoin is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's not a bad thing. It's the same way that people invest in the S&P 500, because that's what they do. They buy the SPY with their 401ks, and they just blindly do it. Bitcoin's got some inherently fantastic things behind it that people really believe in. And the other thing is, let's look at the market cap at 1.3 trillion, guys. Okay, and this caught my eye. The Bitcoin market cap at 1.3 trillion had two patterns. The shark at 1.34, that was just kissed. Notice, okay, the software that will automatically identify that for you, and that's what's going on yesterday. But that's a starting point. A pattern is only a pretty picture. It's not an opportunity unless we have some really nice confirmation, a little price action to boot, and we're here. We're early in the process, but looking for that to roll over. I would suggest, though, we're probably going to push a little bit higher to some of these other numbers, 1.38, 1.42, before we get that confirmation. I'm looking at all of that. You know, I'm not going to ignore any pattern. I thought that was really interesting going through some charts earlier this week. And the market cap on Bitcoin longer term had a lot of the same conditions as there wasn't a shark, but it was a low level pullback, a bunch of oversold readings. And then this development is probably even better. We've got HSI. That's a really nice breakout above the 50. Same kind of concept, like I've said before, with RSI. Okay, you're just kind of monitoring the relative strength. We're doing it with some harmonic factors. And the breakout here on amplified. Okay, you want to see this thing push now and go back and retest the extreme. And I will highlight this other concept. I mentioned it a while ago about these complex structures, these M formations that come in up here where, yes, this is an M formation. It's maybe better to show it this way. And you have this. You have an M formation in the RSI or AMP RSI formation. What does that mean? Usually, and this comes right out of the volume 2 book, that's a temporary retracement, temporary correction, because what happens after that is you get the retest before you can create any kind of divergence. I'm a big believer in divergent strategies where price goes one way while the internal indicator reflects a weaker signal. To do that, okay, and this is called the RSI BAM methodology. I'll show you the book in a second where it comes from, but what that typically does is comes up and requires like a 113 minimum, that's 1.5, or 1618, which is the ideal divergent move. Why? Because if this is truly weak, you'll have a push, an overspill move up to the 1618, and then you'll get the indicator reading get overbought just in an impulsive reading and then back down. We are a ways from that. So, but that's clearly in development. And that's just another insight why I'm still favoring this push to not only retest the highs, but let's take it out in the weeks and months to come with some kind of major test up there. If it's 113 or 1618, we'll know, because if it's going to really blast, we will blast through this zone. So it's coming. It's not going to be this week. It could be next week. And of course, with the election, you'll see that reaction. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get on those books, again, everything over at harmonictrader.com. Just become a basic member there and hit the basic members page. The book that explains all of that is available free as a PDF, volume 2. That's where, I mean, that was 2007 with the rewrite in 2010. And it's, there it is. That was a pretty nice guess right there. Yep, where you get that. You get the push up, complex structure comes down to the 50 and retests as price goes to a nominal new high. Check that out. That's volume 2, and that's all free. Free, free, free. It's important that it's free. You guys have to do some of the work. Any methodology, I don't care what it is, who you follow, you got to do some of that work. Let's get into a couple of the big boys, like something we didn't cover last time, Ethereum. A lot of people, I think, were not happy I ignored Ethereum, and I will continue to ignore Ethereum because I am not really, I think that failure at 2,900 was a real disappointment. Now, no doubt we have HSI trying to push up at the 50. I don't have a pattern. I don't have any ideal confirmation, and it's still probably 2 or 3 weeks away till that busts a move. I think a Solana or a couple of these others are better candidates. A Render, the Kosh network, we'll get to those. And dare I say, I want to update some of the meme coins that we started talking about, and then we get Ponzi in here. We're going to talk about just all of these ridiculous meme coins. And they are ridiculous. I'm going to call them out for what they are. But hey, people are throwing money in. We can just kind of benefit off the mass psychology patterns and time ourselves in there. Things like GigaChat and Shibu and PopCat, and I mean, they are getting a lot of noise lately, and I don't think they're opportunities yet. I think they're going to have to come in a little bit, but Doge is number one up there. That it's why not? Let's look at the dog, because Doge has got more things than Ethereum from a trading perspective. Here's Doge recently trying to push up above 1250. We got patterns looking left, okay, and some patterns coming right. Nice little crab back to back, bat pattern at 9.8. Now we're looking at another crab at 13. Okay, we had confirmation down here. Again, check out the line. Use the line, folks. This is a new feature where the dot, so you get the HSI arrow. That's a starting point. The dot represents a little development, little divergence development, and then the line is the check back retest of the bar. Hold on. So look for Doge maybe to kiss 13 and change, and then we'll deal with it. But they'll go to the weekly. We had a dot right at the low, and basically 10 cents is support going forward. A couple other favorites. I'm going to be on top of BNB as this thing slowly climbs. BNB is just another one where it was beautiful shark to 5.0. Again, only thing that you need here is time. We are at the T2 retest, basically reaction. Type 1, reaction to target 1, that's the dollar sign. That's all automatically generated. The shark became the 5.0. Now we for the retest. What's going to go on here? Because I would look at that as not only for the zone, but where's the 886? The 886 swing off of that, really common for 5.0s to at least come back to the reaction 886. That's a little strategy tip, but look at that retest. What's up, Clarence? This indicator is the Harmonic pattern collection. This is our software that is available on Harmonic Trader. I'll put in the link here in the chat. Again, get the 2-week free trial. Get it all for free, guys, and start for free if you take a 2 months or 2 weeks or a month. For 2 months, doesn't matter. You guys know how I am on this, because once you get it, you're in. And then here's Harmonic Pattern Collection is up, backing up. Thank you, my host. But right there, harmonicpatterncollection.com. Enough of that. It does it automatically. The pattern labeling, the confirmation, okay, the lines. You just got to get a little familiar with what the chart is showing you, and then you can read it from there. Binance Coin, though, look at this. Remember, I was just saying, you need to look at the confirmation. We have full retest. That's 603. Look at your indicators. Look at, are these overbought? No, these are actually at a point where a little push higher on amplified gets you that full retest, and HSI, I would say a strong week this week, next week up really triggers it. You're almost at 600. We're targeting more like 680 on this reactive retest. And BNB is just going to kill it. In that same tone, I'll segue out. Hold on, I'll jump to Coinbase last because there are a lot of similarities there. What was the other one I wanted to kind of bring to your attention? Well, I did say in terms of the meme coin situation, speaking of meme coins, this mother Iggy, I think it's got a lot of the things we want to look for. I mentioned this last time. I won't spend too much time on it, but this is what I mean when you're at a point where you want things to develop. You want the pullback. We did the first crazy thrust up, full harmonic reset. 886 was right there. Okay, and again, if it's Giga Chad, if it's Mother, if it's Popcat, it doesn't matter. If it's Myro, here's Myro. Myro's had a bunch of patterns, still does, with confirmation at 6 cents. That's the kind of thing you should be looking for. Oh, I know. Mother was this. Mother is this beautiful bat pattern down here. XA level 6.7 is where I'm starting to look. Okay, and I have you know, a little personal knowledge of the situation. Let's just say it that way. And I think that they are moving in a direction that's probably more proactive than just your regular main minted coin. This founder wants to do things with this, so it doesn't matter. I'm game for a speculative pool to run, but this is what I mean. Wait for your pattern, your confirmation. Let it come into you. A couple others that are with ridiculous names that I like. Oh, let's go here. Let's go to my MEXC chart, not the S&P, because there's a couple I do want to highlight that are. Oh, you know what it was? Where is he? Where's the Giga Chad? Giga Chad is like this, and we said this last time. Giga Chad, a bunch of patterns up here, and some bearish confirmation. This is an example of something not to chase. Do not chase it. It's already done its initial move. So we can get something to come back, maybe down to 2.9. Yes, I know it's 4.2, but that's how I'm looking at it. Let it come to you. Don't get crazy on this stuff. Let it come to you. And then I don't know who that guy is, that the guy that the Morad, I forget what his name is, but he, you know, there's a guy pumping this stuff hard. Oh, here's a, you know, Suncat. I mean, come on, really? But I'm not going to, you know, if people are going to play games with this kind of stuff and you're at 0.3 of a penny where this thing could do something, I mean, all right, I'm interested. I'll look at it. I'll still apply the same techniques. And remember what I said about HSI getting above the 50 for continuation. There it is. We're well above the 50. So this has got some strength behind it. And, you know, I'm just on the fly here, but this is on MEXC. You get above that 50. That's where this thing could go. Now, how do you prevent catastrophe? Is you just don't over allocate. Take a shot. Take a small chunk. I don't know, a couple $100, couple $1,000, depending on how you roll, and then go run with it. It's not something I'm in or doing just yet, but I'm looking at this stuff because look, things get crazy. People will throw money, and that will go quickly. Couple more of these. You guys want to shill me a few? Let me know. Shill away right now, and let's get this done. XRP, yes, XRP. I'm holding a chunk. I am holding a chunk, and I'll show you another chunk of something I bought recently that's related to it. XRP, doing things, being above the 50. Okay, that's the final signal for looking at kind of the internal strength, where after this bar, and that's a daily bar. I mean, literally it was yesterday. We cracked it. Here, HSI got above the 50. And we know there's a ton of stuff down there. You know, everything that happened and the shakeout last time, all of that was really big. The weekly is really what you're looking at here. Weeklies like this. Oh, come on. Let me get my crypto back up. Weeklies like this. Here you go. There it is. Super pattern looking left. Just waiting and waiting, taking its time. Big time. And you got massive patterns looking left. What are you looking for? The acceleration. Can we get this thing on the weekly chart? We're dipping under the 50, but Amplified's just kind of, this is why it's going sideways. Doesn't help that Gensler's got a, you know what, for these guys, but they can't do it forever. I would think, just off the top of my head, you know, if they can get Gensler out of the way, there will be nothing stopping XRP. And then the other thing that's related to that probably has even nicer, more relevant patterns this instant is the old XLM, the Stellar Lumens. That was another one of my first dips into crypto. And here's XLM. And that's a weekly. Check it out. Here's the green line. And it literally just started last week. You had oversold signals here. Now we have this latest test. It's between 9 and 10 cents. It's always been that way for a long time in a day. Daily, even better. 3 days ago. What was that? It was Monday. We had that test and go. And oh, look. It's actually a type 2. And for those that are new to harmonic patterns, okay, our recipe is ideally type 2 patterns, weekly oversolds. How do you know? Well, as I said before, type 1, reaction to target 1, come back, retest the lows, hop at 8.3, but where's confirmation? Ideal confirmation? It's here. It's these string of lows being artificially pushed down. And then look at the other prior pattern. You got back-to-back patterns here. You got type 2s all over the place. This is the kind of stuff you want to strategize from off of these kind of levels. I'm not going to make any monster predictions other than the fact that you're down here at the lows. So again, easiest way to do that is just don't over allocate. I started a chunk, not a heck of a lot, like 100,000 of this, 100,000 coins, less than 10K in that. And I will, you know, if we can get the breakout, I'll add to that. But it's going to be XLM, XRP, going to be part of my bags going forward. I just get the same sense that they're talking about this stuff the same way they were talking about Bitcoin 10 years ago. You know, if we can get the move, that would be great. I'm not even going to speculate on where it can go, other than the fact that we're buying on the lows. We're not all the way down there. You know, it's not like this thing is making new lows. You got to go to what? 2020 lows were 2 cents. You had your big swing, 886 retracement. Let's rock. Couple more. Meme coin. What's up, Rob Dog? Welcome to the program. Hit that like and hope you subscribe so you can join us, because I'm not the most timely of people. It's like 12:30, sometimes 12:12, 12:20. Brett and Myro are brothers. In my opinion, they had a couple things before in the pre-halving cycle. Yeah, we were down here. Remember that? Brett at 2 cents. We go back to what we talked about in May or April on those, Brett and Myro, and then they skyrocketed and they came all the way back. This is also something to note. with these kind of things. If they're going to do their massive move, guys, and they skyrocket like that, you go from 3 cents to 20 cents for a 7x in 6 weeks, and you can't continue, okay, just do the 382. We've talked about this on Bitcoin and other things where if your trend is really going to keep going, that 382 trailer concept should not be violated. And once it did, came all the way back down. Brett, Myro, what other guy, meme coins? You know, nice to see some more women into the space, though, for sure. Can't be a sausage fest, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Trump USDT. What happened with that thing? I thought he just released something different. I thought his coin was. I thought this was his coin, but he was WorldCoin or something. Yeah, I can't do anything with that. Or Trumpet? No, it's Trump. Yeah, I this is where. No, there's nothing there. I don't really know. What was his thing? WorldFi or something? Someone help me out on that. Meanwhile, let's follow up on Neil's request for SUI, which we talked about that thing being a little overextended at 230, coming on down. Nice back-to-back dynamics. Again, you pull up the software and you see this, okay, and you're at a bearish crab pattern. By all means, please just chill down and wait for the pullback. You know, you're overextended. That's really what a crab is. I'd be looking for that. Can we get an oversold trigger, maybe as low as target 1 at 150? And I'm hoping a lot of these get that pullback. I'll show you one in a second, but that would be type 1 reaction. And then the return move to really send it. And the one that I'll bring your attention to is the king, I guess, of AI to calm this Tau Bittensohr. This thing's all over the place. This one kind of reminds me of Bitcoin because the way it's moving, 600, 700, down to 150 or 180. Right now, you're overextended again on Tau Bittensohr. I would ideally hope, pray that you come back for a T1 at 444. Because here's the thought. So if you're new to this, again, type 1 reaction. And then if we're really going to blast off, you want that reaction to happen, get some confirmation, and then just go on through. Take it out, blow it out, and run. Run, run, run. And I'm willing to wait on that one. There's a few of these that are shaping up like that. You could DCA. You could DCA, but DCA at the right price. You guys, especially you, Justin, you know enough not to chase even in a DCA strategy. I mean, here we go. Storage, right? Storage people are like, hey, what about storage? What about storage? Well, storage's play was a month ago down here at the butterfly. Type 1 reaction to target 1. It's done. It couldn't blast through. It's trying to roll over. We're overbought on your indicators. So I'll wait for that to come in. A couple more. What was the one that, Justin, you were saying it wasn't injective? Injective you were mentioning? INJ? Yeah, man. Very nice. You brought that up in our group. INJ, all the way at the top, again, bearish pattern. You see that T2, that was at the beginning of the year. If you come in and you have a bearish pattern, especially a T2 pattern, and you try to buy, that's all on you. Even the shark pattern, after a drop 50%, you know, there's the shark down and then 2 with the dot taking it lower. But wasn't there's something down here? Ah, yes. It's another shark. Shark down there. That was at August low. You might think you have missed it, but no, not really. There's the secondary confirmation. So INJ, maybe back at 19, 21 currently. We want to be, we want to be surgical with this stuff. Because otherwise you're going to get caught in a drawdown, and that's never fun. Speaking of drawdowns, let's look at Caspa. It's getting there. It's finally getting there. Caspa has been one that was doing really nice, and that too, back at its heights in the summer, perfect back-to-back. Bat up to the crab with the T2 right at 20 cents. And then where's the looping retest at about 10.9? I will wait for that. And I still am encouraged by this. There's your channel. Okay, maybe leaking a little bit, but somewhere around that 10-cent mark, I will start looking on Caspa. And that reminds me a lot of Tia, Celestia. Tia, where'd you go? Right here. Come on. TIA. That was a pattern low at 4. Okay, sitting down here in the zone. Something's going on. There's the zone. 6 and change. 4 on the low end. It's trying to pop today, but again, look for the check back. Look for that really retest. I think it's more like a $4.50 to $5 entry point, and they go to the weekly. Is that enough? I need a bigger chart. I thought so. The weekly on Coinbase is oversold. That's our recipe. Especially this. Came out new, did the frenzied run, comes all the way back for an 886 reset. Like that. So that's how you know like phase 1 is over. And just kind of ballparking it, I would look for like a 382 eventually back to 10. But you're down here at 6. You're all of your numbers, and look how it's respecting that action. Let me blow this up. Right at $5. We broke out of the downtrend. That exact number is like 5.08 cents, $5.08. Couple more. Got to look at Solana, right? Solana's just waiting. I think Solana is the Ethereum killer. I know Ethereum's tangled into all these others, but it's not going to last. Solana, here you go. Weekly oversold. Big number on Solana is 130. And I once a week I hit this chart just to show you what kind of the ideal confirmation needs to look like. Type 2 pattern structures. And this pattern's been going on for a while at 120. And just basing out here. I would love to see Solana move above 162, 165 and close above there against this static resistance. What's up, Intel dude? You want to look at to manually draw Caspa? All right, I'm not opposed to that. IJK, got to go back to first grade alphabet. Caspa's like this. So first of all, okay, Caspa is the prior bat already drawn. Oh, there's a shark up there too. Let's get, where's the Coinbase feed? There she is. That's the MEXC. There's the bat. Okay, and so that's kind of the looping retest, big support. I will trace out both of them. So this, you start at that low, XAB is at a 50% point. Okay, and that's for new folks. It's really important you understand the B point is the identifier. So if you're going to trace these out and draw them by hand, where's your B? Is it at a 50 or less? Then you're looking for a larger retracement, 886. If it's a 618, a Gartley, that's a 786. And then Caspa, it's got that bad wick. It's got this bad wick. So that kind of throws off what I'm able to trace out. Doesn't really fit. I can't trace it. And this wick matters. I mean, they threw it down, but I can't do the same. Like if I was going to include that big wick, which I'm a believer that that's real data, you'd almost have to do all the way here. You know, that would have to be your X and your A, B, and then all the way down. But that's not what I'm seeing because you have the weekly situation. You know, weekly is down here, almost oversold. We've talked about that for a long time, since the summer, waiting for that retest at 10. It just took months. Who wanted SUI? What's up, Grifflet? Welcome. SUI and SEI. I don't know. Somebody needs to explain why everyone is hot on SUI and SEI. There's that's SUI. SEI is like this. Sorry about that. There's SEI. And SEI is another one. We're definitely on our T coin, toilet coin, the lower market cap crypto that have sustained, 90+% corrective moves. Weekly oversolds are all the way down there, and they bottomed at 26, now 43. But check this out. Okay, we had patterns, nice patterns. This was a T2. All right, T2 on the daily. Got rejected by target 2, but this is what you should be looking for. Again, super clean pattern. That's only the first move. Come on back down. And then there's your confirmation. That was 25. The next place I would look at is this higher level, that bullish continuation dot. But that's back at 40, 30, 39, 40. So set a little alert. Who had that list? H-bar. What's up, Melly? If that's correct pronunciation, H-bar. Despite all the hype, I'm not a huge fan because we're all the way back down at the lows. I mean, that's it's going to take time. I mean, it's there's the weekly. So wait for that retest. These are not the kind of crypto I'm really favoring because I want to see things make progress. I don't want stuff that's right back down to all-time lows. Justin, what's up? Pal, AI. Yes, that's one for our list too, man. Pal AI. I think that 18 cents, right? The recipe, weekly oversold. There you go. That's at 19. Currently 22, not too far off. But this is the thing I like. Big bat with confirmation. So that's 18.6. And I like the position that's in. Easy way to kind of come around on this is that above the 50 level on daily? Yes. What about the weekly? Because yeah, okay. So PAL AI and a lot of the AI are trying to do the same thing. And you'll see it in the indicator first. You'll see that thing bust free before the price action moves. I would say that this is a starting point as well. But this bottom indicator, that's our amplified relative strength. Okay, if you really want to anticipate price action continuation, it's on the break above. Yeah. Yes. What's your other one, man? Uniswap? Uni. This has got a mass pattern too. Check this out. Right there. Get that turning back up. Almost tried it last week. But this is Uniswap. It's got big patterns here. Look at that. Big butterfly. What's the only thing that's happened or hasn't happened yet is the time issue. But hit the butterfly. Yeah, it overran it quite a bit, but your confirmation levels were like 4. The hop level was 640. You ballpark it down. I'm still thinking it's more like a 6 thing. It's more like 6. Retest it. I don't know. Thanks, Neil. I don't know about what's good, what's not. I'm just looking for patterns and price action acceleration triggers. But I'm open to listen and open to learn. Oh, here's the other one, AI stuff that I really like. It's got needs time, but AIOZ, I've mentioned that before, and it's a high level. It's got 2 patterns here back to back. So can we just make progress? That's now, instead of it being a 38 or 37 cent possible entry, we're now looking 43, 44. It reminds me of FET. FET made progress. And FET's like this, okay, back down after a nice bounce. I'm not there yet on FET for the big move like we were last year. Remember last year, you go back a year ago, we had a bunch of things at 20 cents, 23 cents. And go back and look at our sessions from last September. We were all in front of that. And then we were all in front of getting out, or a little late, right above $2. I was at 3. I was like a deer in headlights. And then I kind of woke up after getting clipped by the car, if you will, on a 30% drawdown. But that's how it goes. 1 or 2 more. Neil, I do like ACH, and I think you're starting to see ACH, Alchemy Pay. It's got everything that I want to see. Big bat pattern, probably 170 is your number. The daily there, and the weekly is got some oversold readings. I wish this was higher. I do wish ACH had made more progress than it had, but it's on the weekly here. You go to your crypto. I think it's also Binance US feed. Look, that's a beautiful type 2 on the weekly, big time. So what do you need? Confirmation, 165, something like that. Again, here we are on ACH, Alchemy Pay, not in the right position. So it's not there yet. Can we get that above the 50? And we can wait. We can be patient, because when it cracks the 50, then you got something. The last couple of times it did it, you go back a year ago. You're looking for that kind of an event. And look where it was. It was 1.5 cents. It went to 4.5, coming back down. But I think this is a bigger story, a longer term play. It's a type 2, T2, target 2. That would be the plan. JTO for Neil. It's your last one. I'm only joking. JTO. JTO, nothing, well, not nothing, but that is a T2. I don't know why that didn't generate. T2 Shark. But we have a counter HSI. Let it come back, retest that line. You're 210 at the moment. Looking at 180, 185, 190. That would be my ideal entry. And what's that weekly look like? Yeah, you're probably another green week. So not this week, not next week. We get a green candle this week and next week. Then we would have a weekly dot. How does that work? The line does not come on. All right, check it out. It's a good example. It's one of the worst things about trading is being early and having to go through unnecessary drawdown. So there's the retest. What's that low? The low on that was 183. Yeah, we didn't hit it on that bar. Last week we hit it. So 1 green and 2 greens. Talk to me at the end of the month or beginning of next month. Man, everything. I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing things absolutely trigger like the last day of the month and then start to shape up. Oof. Thanks, Neil. GoldenEye, you want the Phantom? Let's let that be the last one. I really wanted to dig deep today in crypto, and I'm going to confirm it with Lieutenant Ponzi of getting into the meme coin discussion maybe next Thursday. Phantom is, I will admit, I was in Phantom on the first half of the cycle and pretty low and rode it up. And like the same time I was getting out of FET, I mean, I went up through all this and I got stopped out around 80 cents, 70 cents. Happy to see it go to 30 and then came back, but it did have patterns down here. You had this bat pattern, okay, but now it's a back-to-back bullish to bearish. 78 cents was just tagged. I'd be inclined to see that come back for a T1, 59. Give it time, guys. Avoid the FOMO, align yourself with the framework. All right, let's transition to coin and some of those other related stocks. So coin, guys, what were we saying? 165. 165, go back September. It was not even, it was 4 weeks ago. 165, it's a T1. I don't have a dot yet. No, it's actually a T2 off the shark. Maybe the crab would need one more retest. Maybe 167. So I'm watching this. This could almost be the end of the reaction, but we'll see. Not there yet, but that was sweet, ideal. Okay, is that the end all be all move? I'm not there yet. I mean, just stay with the long. The Con L, the 2x Granite shares, which I'm a fan of these instruments. They're really tradable. Con L for us was 2082. Again, go back just not even 2 weeks. We're talking about this thing. And ideally, yeah, 54 would be the target. It's a little off today. We got overbought, but that does not mean it's done. We just monitor it. Tighten up your stops. Okay, that's went from 20 to what was yesterday's high. Was like almost 34. Great move in 5 days. But if that does roll over, okay, and I would say a bearish candle today, a bearish candle tomorrow, then that might be it for the reaction, and we'd have to tighten up stops, maybe take the reaction W, and then look for another entry a bit lower. The other one I like, I've mentioned before, you go to Mara, and these are going to be delayed, but here you go. Another one. Okay, beautiful shark at 15. We talked about that. Now 1840, T1 at 2363. Remarkable. Now it's starting to go. This is where 3-bar breakouts can really tell you when something's going to do a move. Where in this whole consolidation, where can we identify 3-bar breakouts? There's terminal bar. Well, the first one was right there. And that helps to give us the individual price action, kind of indicator, light switch goes on in the zone. Because what? It took out 1, 2, 3 prior range. It's a starting point. Yes, you had a couple of shots at 15, but now finally you go. And I think everybody's looking at this. Everybody's looking at that creature. Can you close above, what's that candle? Above 18 and a quarter. Today, 1843. Yeah. Drake, let's save Litecoin next time. Oh, you know what? I'll do this for you. Litecoin, the ETN, because this had patterns. That's for you, Drake, because I was just looking at that a few days ago. I'm long this. I said this before. I'll say it again. These are lottery tickets. Don't go too heavy. But there you go. Litecoin's a big bat. LTCN, the Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Okay. Maybe a better way to play it. And you need time there. Weekly is like this. We got a dot. Can the weekly get above the 50 on HSI and amplified? That's how we know that it's got potential. So we're early. We're early here. Get above the 50. I maybe next time I'll bring up relative strength again and we'll walk it through how those are related. You're not going to get as many signals or the same clarity on RSI, but those are the signals you're looking for. Everyone's anticipating this move. They want things to go, but you know, it's not there yet. Yeah, AJ, what's up? Welcome to the show. Wants to look at Bit Digital, which is a long-standing pick we have mentioned forever, and we're seeing the beginnings off of what is a considerable all-time bat pattern. It's the same deal as a lot of those T-coin that come out and they go through their IPO frenzy phase. They come all the way out, and I'll trace this out for the new folks. This is how you trace it, high to low. Where's your B point? It's like there. Where is that? 55, almost 50. So we would expect a full 886, and that 886 is really like there at like 375. Confirmation, this thing was as low as $1 at the low. It's still, again, patterns are a signpost, a starting point. They're not an end-all be-all. You build the argument with the pattern level first. And then I would say this, okay? You're looking at that pattern. There it completes after a full reset, but where does it go above the 50 for the first time? There's amplified going above the 50. Again, that was early, beginning of the year. And I don't think it has really done much even off of this zone, but there and there. It's at that point you can say, all right, there's something behind this. The other one was SDIG. I think we looked at that. I don't think there was much there. SDIG, yeah. SDIG, no pattern. We have it's oversold. But hey, again, what's the indicator doing? What's HSI doing? This is a really easy assessment. Any market. It's why I designed it this way. Are we going down or up? Is that above the 50 or going under the 50? I think it's going down. We need to wait for that to turn back up and around. Again, I think this is same kind of a deal. Not there yet. It needs to express itself. It has to show initial signs before we can really jump on it. I think the same could be said for that HUT. Now HUT's done some flexing recently, and HUT at 13. There it is. Where's the daily? Daily's like this. So there it is. This is the deal on HUT. It had a shark at the low, $7. But this is where secondary confirmation comes in. Also, just because we have a bearish pattern doesn't mean it's the end all be all, because it's a type 1. So we just look at that as a reaction. I would expect something like HUT to eventually make its way back to the 17 to 20 zone for that bat to resolve that. Type 1 reaction, type 2 reversal. We call that the type 2 return. Why? It went to target. You got confirmation down here. Now it's starting to go back up. I would think also probably 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, same thing, but break it down on your 4 hours going forward, guys, especially now. For those that are doing retracements, we want to see stuff develop as much on the 4 hours, kind of a mandatory minimum. What about predictions about elections in the U.S. market? Is there any sign possible result in the market? I am not going to answer that. I really, due to a lack of confidence in the system itself, and that's all I'll say. I think I have two sets of plans, and I only care about the markets. I've always said that. Crypto market, financial markets. I do anticipate that people will have expectations, and they will respond accordingly, and it will happen pretty quickly. I think you're going to get a little mild retracement, and look, I think we're in the final phases of buying climax, and we have to, perfect segue, my man, to go to SPY. All right, what's the deal here? SPY is a monthly creature with a big crab pattern. Look, it's so beautiful. And I will say this. We have not seen a monthly pattern like this since 2007. I've shown that before. I'll go over it again. But we're in the final stages of buying climax. Rule of thumb, usually 7, 8 bars in a row. Yes, it could go more, but we're getting there. We had this little reaction off the 1618, and that was 561 in August for about 3-4 days. And the SPY just said, forget you, I'm ready to come back up into the zone. That's how we look at it. I'll show it on a weekly as well, but we are a go up to this hop level at 618. In my opinion, I won't name names, but I kind of think the street is betting on a positive financial outcome in this election. Depending on what your flavor is, figure it out. But 618 is the overspill limit, and I think the weekly charts help us here because we've seen really nice confirmation. What happened? We hit that 1618 at 560. I talked about that. I tweeted about that the morning we hit it. I said, okay, change in character of the market. And we took a quick dump, 10% down. And what happened? We got oversold quickly on HSI and pivoted back out. Now, remember all the things I've been saying about this 50 level, why it's so important. And you guys can just ask yourself, what's HSI doing? Is it up or down? Well, that's still up. That's firmly above the 50. And this is a weekly chart. Same with amplified. Actually, you banged that a few times on the 50. Now you're back up. So I wouldn't even be able to make an individual assessment until I see not one, but 2 bearish weeks. 2. Why? Because we have this signal. We do have a little marker of HSI. Okay, but it's a lot like what happened back here in the beginning of the year. We had an HSI arrow. It took like 8 weeks before we got a dot. A little pullback continued. So this can run. It's just, again, another starting point where 618 for the SPY is, that's like 6,200 on the index. Makes sense to me. And I'm no matter who gets in, all right, I'm bullish in terms of longer term. That's kind of a lame way to say, to hedge my bets, because there's no way that they can stop this money printer, and the government's going to spend the money. What I would love to see, much like what we had at the 886 last summer, could we get this kind of correction? I would love to see that. If it's up here at 590, 600, 618, I would love to see kind of a quick 2-month, 3-month corrective move where people just blindly cover, get out of the market. And we've seen this is called a reciprocal ABCD. Usually when you start a trend like that first move down, you can use that as an approximated segment. So it's reciprocal because it's not the standard ABCD, and it's only for trend channels. But there, okay, and it's a price thing. It's not really percentage. And there, and then maybe something like that there. But it's still higher until that can really assert some bearish individual behavior. And what do we got? Today is the 17th. So incredibly, 2 weeks from Tuesday, 2 weeks. And think about that. In 5 shows after today, we'll be here on election day mulling possibilities. But I just think that you're going to see this thing continue. We are in a serial move, bar of a bar. And that's what typically happens when you get above the 50 like it's going. Once you do this breakout, and this is also the reasoning behind why crypto needs to do the same thing. You break above the 50, if that's Bitcoin or whatever, where then you start climbing bar over bar. Bitcoin, in my opinion, should start the serial move very soon. It does a week over week. It doesn't have to be fireworks, but it exhibits individual bar strength, a pattern of higher lows every week, managing to break into new highs where every bar is green. That's thought. That is the thought. And I have to bring up I don't talk enough about it, but I got to talk about the industrial average. Because now this thing is running, and it's got the same kind of pattern dynamics. It's probably now playing catch up, where 42K was always a big target for us. In this case, it hit the 1618. It did nothing. So it's hop level, harmonic optimal price. Think of that as like the permissible overspill move. That's like 45.6. And I think it's on a monthly too. Maybe not. But guys, this channel does not stop until you get individual price action. Oh, I need to, I want to show you the precedent one more time, because history does not repeat, it rhymes. But you've got a lot of similar things. Where'd you go? Where's my regression channel? Come on, is it there? It's there. So the Dow off the 2008 low, that it does not stop. There's no reason for that to stop. We could get a dot, and I go back to 2022, where you're at the top end of the channel, and we did have that formation. Okay, why? Because we formed the overbought signal, just like we are now. These industrial average. Okay, but what needs to happen from here? Because we already had the retest. You still need 2 bearish candles, maybe an inside bearish candle, and then another bearish candle for the breakdown. But I don't see this channel being broken anytime. I mean, if it was going to be broken and taken out, it would have been 2020. And maybe that's your worst case scenario, a big shakeout. Again, what changed in 2008? Money supply and the amount of money that they pumped into circulation. Also, 2020, that was part 2 of that whole phase. And so, yes, we are overbought, but we haven't signaled the end just yet. And it is amazing. I've talked about how I speculated way back in 2007 or 8 about possibilities, 36K, what have you. That's in the volume 2 book. Check it out. But we did have patterns up there in 2007. Let me go back to the SPY, because we had it there. It was kind of a dud reaction, but amazing. Check out, this is the patterns for me, they fascinate me every day, especially when I go through historic examples. But that was at 6,200. Okay, that was a massive type 2. It's that looping up and down type 2 where it took 5-6 years. The best example of if we're going to have some kind of correction and it gets pushed off maybe into the new year, which I could see that. They're going to have to take some profits. This is super strong, one of the strongest phases of this whole bull market since 2008 we've seen. But I draw your attention back to 2007 on the S&P 500. A beautiful shark comes back, the retest, okay, full retest of the 2001 decline, right back with a beautiful shark textbook. The shark is also in the volume 2 book, okay? But what happened up there? Because there was a lot of craziness with everyone getting loans and money was super easy. But there was the signal. We had the retest and we had a couple of bars. One red candle, second red candle. Okay, and we still had some retest action. And that was a type 1 to target 1, went to target 2. But that would be the scenario that we see. If you're nervous, cautious on the market, okay, you're 2 months of red action before I would even expect anything to give up what really started 15 years ago. So just put that in your hat or your pipe or whatever and do what you want with it. But that's where we are. This is actually probably a little bit stronger. But there's a lot to be gleaned from this SPY chart. And as you think people have the 6,000 level on the index in the back of their mind. What's up, Kate? Kate's asking, can I see 6,500 or 7,000? Then a big drop on the S&P? No, not really. Maybe we get a stretch above 620 on the SPY, but we're really close. We're close. Look, here's where the indicators are. And I think 618 on SPY is a big number, in the same way 560 was. Amplified is still expanding, so we've been here before. Dare I say, we are, if you want to go comparative prior examples, you know, we're just hitting overbought HSI. So if you go back to May 21, and it took 6 months before that thing rolled out, and like 8 months before the 2022 peak. And same with your amplified. And this is something that, again, just because you're an overbought range does not mean that it's a sell or it's a reversal indicator. As long as this holds up in there and continues to float higher, look at the nature of the action. It's bar over bar, month over month, climbing. And that's where we are now. I'm just, ears are up, looking for weekly bearish action that results in monthly bearish action. But you got to know that would have to be a close under 573. You're 584 right now, 2 weeks to go. I think you push it off to next month. What I think is you're going to rally up into the end of the month, and then we could get some inflection, if not early in the month, later in the month, with some follow-through moves. But once that comes in, then we're hyper-focused. There are a lot of these big markets that have done remarkable things. The trillion-dollar companies. I haven't talked about Apple in forever and a day, and here's another monthly chart. Just that trend channel is fully intact. Yes, we're banging up against the top end, but is Apple going away? Is this going to change anytime soon? Heck no. It's 2016. What changed for Apple in 2016? Oh, wasn't it Steve Jobs? Didn't he pass away around 16 or 15? And then they go hyper growth. But these are massive trend channels. It would take a lot. That's monthly too. Take a lot for that to end. So I'm super encouraged. I would pray for a big, healthy, corrective pullback after we get through this election, but it's not there yet. So we'll go with that SPY chart, and we will hyper-focus on the crypto and even get into some of the more degenerate speculative coins next week. What if SPY goes to 600? What would RSI be? Let's save that for next week. let's say, because we'll do the comparative. I love RSI. Wells Wilder, total genius to come up with that concept. His book, 1978 book, New Concepts. He did stochastics. He did MACD. He did ADX. He did RSI, and RSI with the patterns always gave me the relative measure, and that's what Amplified and HSI are truly based off of. Again, go through, guys. Get over to harmonictrader.com. Get the free trial. Please take advantage of the free resources. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Chris will take care of you. Get that 14-day free trial. And if you want more after the 14 days, just ask with a little please, and I'll be happy to accommodate. That's what I have for today. Great crew, guys. Love you. Have a great weekend. We'll come on back on Tuesday, and I'll confirm the ponds for next week. Deep dive on your degenerate crypto. Have a great